Here's lesson 94. Determining the focus and directrix. Students will identify the focus and directrix of a parabola. Okay, so we're building upon what we know with the parabolas. They're major Y. They could either open up or down. So this is just a rough picture of what it might look like. There's two parts that we're going to focus on today. We already know how to graph them. There's this point that's in the inside. This is called the focus. And then there's a line that's on the opposite side of the vertex. If the vertex is here, there's a line that's on the opposite side that's equidistant from the focus. And this is called your directrix. Okay? Alright, so that's what's there, and the reason why we have these is because any point on this line is always the same distance from the focus as it is to the directrix, meaning like if from the focus to the vertex is the same distance as the vertex to the directrix. Same distance. In this case, it's a rough drawing, so it's not accurate. But I could pick any point here. Let's say I wanted to pick this point here that's on the side. Theoretically, the distance from here to here is the same distance as from here vertically down to here. But again, in this case, this isn't an accurate drawing, but that's why it's important. Okay? Here are the steps for today. The big thing we need to figure out is this new term called C. We already know A. It's going to be a little confusing to solve, but once you know the trick on how to solve it, then you're going to be good. Okay? So, and I'll show you, all right? So, here we go. Number 1 and 2. Number 1, we know how to graph from last time, so our vertex is going to be at 5, 0. There is no K, so we're going to put a place marker for 0, for K. Okay, so we're going to plot our vertex. We know A is equal to 1, so it's going to open up. So 5, 0, here's our vertex, okay? We know it's going to open up from there. Alright, and of course you're supposed to make a table to find the points. And there's a shortcut to find the points, but I'll show you in a few minutes. I want you to focus on the focus and the directrix, okay? But for me, I know the shortcut, and I want to show you the shortcut. But you could easily find the points quickly. Here's our graph of the parabola. So this is all from yesterday. You're going to still do the same thing as yesterday, practicing how to graph a parabola. Okay, now we have to focus on the focus and the directrix. What's that? Yeah, I didn't realize that I said that. Okay, so we want to figure out what C is, all right? So to figure out C, we need to know what A is. A is equal to 1. We start with the absolute value of, let me put this down here. The absolute value of A is equal to 1 over 4C. And we know A is equal to 1, so I'm going to put 1 in for A, okay? Absolute value of 1 is 1, so 1 is equal to 1 over 4C. And I want to isolate C. I want C to be by itself. Right now C is in the denominator, and we don't want it to be in the denominator. We want it to be isolated. So I know that if I multiply both sides by C, the C will cancel out on the right side, and then on the left side I'll have 1 times C, which is just C. So I multiply both sides by C, and I'll get 1 over 4. So that's what C is equal to, is 1/4. What this represents is the distance from the vertex to both the focus and the directrix. Okay, so I'm going to go mark 1/4 on my graph here. And this is my focus now. It's just 1/4 up from the vertex, okay? This is an approximate, but now I'm going to define what the focus is. We know that this point right here is over 5 and up 1/4. So our focus is at 5 1/4. Okay? Then I'm going to draw my directrix that just popped up here. This one is the opposite direction of the vertex as a line, and it's perpendicular to the line of symmetry, and it's 1/4 below the vertex, okay? And this is a line, so I'm not going to put directrix as a point. It's going to be a line. So we got y is equal to, since it crosses the y-axis, we're going to say y is equal to, and it goes down 1/4, so y is equal to negative 1/4. That is what our directrix is, okay? And that's it. That's how you do number 1. All right? So again, number 1, you got to figure out your vertex first. Figure out A. We know it opens up. Center is 5, 0. Okay? Then you would figure out all your points here. And I did that quickly. I didn't even make a table because I know that all of these are a pattern. I'll teach you the pattern in a moment. I just want you to see what the what the steps are. Then we got to figure out what the focus is. We need to figure out what C is to do that. So we put absolute value of A is equal to 1 over 4C. We replaced A with 1 because A is equal to 1. And then we solved for C. So absolute value of 1 is 1. Multiply both sides by C. 1 times C is C. This side, if we multiply by C, they cancel out with this denominator, and we're just left with 1/4. That means from the vertex, we know we go up into the parabola to get the C, or the focus. And then we go 1/4 down, and we define them by where they're at, and that's the answer. Okay, that's all you're doing today. Okay, questions on number 1? Number 2, one more time. Number 2, we got to figure out what is our vertex. Vertex is at -4, 5. We know that it opens up, so we're going to put a point at -4, 5. Now, I know that there's going to be a point on right here, here, right here, here, and then also one right here and one right here, okay? And that's not because I did it before, just there is a shortcut I want to show you. Okay? Now we need to figure out what C is equal to, so I'm going to take A. A is equal to 1/3. I'm going to bring it down and do a side problem. So the absolute value of 1/3 is equal to 1 over 4C. Absolute value of 1/3 is equal to 1/3. Okay, so I want to isolate C on both sides. I know that if I multiply C on both sides, that the C will cancel on the right, and then I'll get 1 times C on the left. And while I'm at it, I'm going to multiply both sides by 3, because I want this 3 to be on the opposite side. When I multiply the left side by 3, they cancel out. Multiply the right side by 3, I get 1 times 3, which is 3/4. So then C will be equal to 3/4. Okay, that's just a simple simplification problem. If you want me to show you the steps, I could do that later, but you should be able to do that at this point. Okay, since it's 3/4, we know that from the vertex I'm going to go up 3/4 to define where my focus is. So if my vertex is at -4, 5, I'm going to go up 3/4 from there. So it's going to be a -4, +5, and 3/4 to find my focus. And then I'm going to go the opposite direction to find my directrix. It's going to be subtracting 3/4 from the focus. So if it's up 5, we're going to draw a horizontal line showing where the directrix is. So it's going to be 4 1/4, right? Because 5 minus 3/4 is 4 1/4. That's your directrix. And then we're done. Okay? Any questions on numbers 1 or 2? Did you all see that I put those points down quickly? Were any of you curious on how I did that? The points, the parabola points. It's a shortcut. Raise your hand if you want to know the shortcut today. Okay? There is a shortcut. Instead of writing an XY table, I'm going to show you a shortcut. I'm going to do that on the next example. But I want you to write this down first for me. Please do that, and then I'll show you how to do a shortcut. Let's do number 4. Okay, we're doing this one together. Bless you.
Thank you.
Okay, so turn your neighbor, tell him what's the vertex. What's the vertex?
Vertex is 1, 2.
1, -2. Good. So we're going to do that. Oh. Okay, if I go left or right 1. Oh, by the way, is what's A equal to? 2. So is it going to open up or down? Up. Good. So if I go left or right 1 from the vertex, how far up am I going? What's 1 squared? Times our A is 2. So if I go left or right 1, I'm going to go up 2. So I'm going to put 1 on the right and 1 on the left. You see that? Okay. Turn your neighbor predicts if I go left or right 2, how far up am I going to go? Okay. 1 squared is?
1.
I'm sorry. Back. We're going left or right 2. 2 squared is? 4 times A is? 8. So from the vertex, we're going to go up, or right, left and right 2, and up 8. Okay? Okay, plot your graph, draw some arrows. Now we have to find C. That's the important thing. Turn your neighbor, explain, how do we find C right now? What's the formula? Say it out loud to your neighbor. Let's go. I need you to talk so we get through this quickly. Okay, what's my formula, everyone? Absolute value of?
The value of A equals 1/4 times C.
Well, 1 over 4C.
1 over 4C.
Yeah. You can't say 1/4 times C because that's totally different. Okay? Okay, so we're putting in A. A is 2. Absolute value 2 is equal to 1 over 4C. Okay? Absolute value 2 is 2. So what's my C going to be? C equals, I heard the answer, 1/8. Yep. C is equal to 1/8. Raise your hand if you want me to show you the steps to get to that. I think I should probably show you because most of you didn't get it. Okay. I'm going to do this on the side. Oh. Nope. That's not what I want. Okay, so if I were to do this on the side, we got 2 is equal to 1 over 4C. I know that I want C by itself, so of course I'm going to have to multiply both sides by C. When I do that, I get C canceled out, right? But this side, it has a 2 here, right? Do I want 2 on this side?
No.
No, what's 2 being multiplied with?
C.
C, we want C by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2. When I divide both sides by 2, I'm effectively multiplying the bottom number by 2, so it's going to be C is equal to 1/8. Left side, just the 2's cancel out. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay? No, it's 1/8, not 1/2. I don't know if I did that. Okay. Okay, so from the vertex, we're going to go up 1/8 to put our focus in, and then we're going to draw a nice, straight, perpendicular line. Zoom at the directrix. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we need to define what they are, okay? So it should look pretty nice, but it's not going to be perfect, of course. All right, so what's your focus? Okay? What's the coordinate for the focus? 1, negative, bless you.
It's negative 1 and 7/8.
Good. How did you get negative 1 and 7/8?
Subtract 1/8 and 8 over 8.
Good. So we're going to subtract 2. We're going to subtract 1/8 from 2. What's 2 minus an 1/8? Or another way, what's negative 2 plus 1/8? Negative 1 and 7/8. You guys focusing, right? You got homework tonight. 6 problems. 6. Okay. Ready? How many?
6.
Okay. Now directrix. What's your directrix going to be? What axis is the directrix crossing? What axis is the directrix crossing?
The y.
Y-axis. So we start with y is equal to, what's it equal to? Negative 2 and 8. Yep, that's it. I'm sorry, I was trying to focus on the directrix. What's that?
Why are the parabolas never like major x?
They will be. So that's a good question. He's asking, why aren't they sideways? They will be. On Monday, we're going to start sideways parabolas. Which, don't worry, all we're going to do is switch x and y. It's going to be the same concept. You don't have to be scared. It's going to be okay. Okay. All right, yeah. No, you're just going to switch x and y. So instead of a directrix that's horizontal, it'll be vertical. You're still going to find your vertex. You're still going to do the left and right 1, but instead of left and right, you're going to go up and down 1, and then you're going to square it and then multiply by a. Except we're going to work sideways, okay? So don't worry. Don't you fret, young children. Here we go. Next one. Oh, sorry. Not supposed to do that. Last one, number 6. I want you to do number 6 by yourself. You can work with your neighbor if you need to figure out C or anything.